What do your dreams actually mean? Have you had the same dream night after night, and yet you have no clue why you keep getting it? Today, we're going to solve that. I'm walking you through the exact steps to understand the true spiritual meaning of your dreams. If you're new here, my name is Bridget, and I spent the past 6 years training with and apprenticing with a spiritual teacher and a formally trained shaman. And one of the key aspects of that training was learning the art of dream interpretation. This is part 2 in our series on dreams. If you haven't yet, make sure you watch video 1, where I explain the 4 types of dreams that you need to be watching out for, who is speaking to you in those dreams, and how to tell them apart. Now, if you're ready, let's get started interpreting your dreams. Now, dreams for most of us tend to play out like stories or movies behind our eyes. But instead of language or dialogue, they use symbols to communicate with us. Now, I've had some people ask me, why don't dreams just tell me in plain language what they're trying to teach if it's so important? And they are so important. You can refer back to the first video in this series to get some hints as to how profound and life-changing your dreams can be. But dreams come from a different realm. They're of the subconscious or of a divine realm. And in those places, standard language and alphabets just aren't used. So it's a bit like going on vacation to France and saying, well, why don't they just speak English? Because in France, they speak French. It's a bit similar with the world of dreams. When we are entering the dream world or the dream realm in our sleep, it's on us to learn how to speak their language. And it's also a great gift to be able to learn to speak their language. Not only can you get invaluable wisdom, guidance, and warnings for your own life, but if you take your training far enough, you can actually learn how to interpret dreams for other people, which I find myself doing frequently. There are 7 key steps to interpreting your dreams correctly, but don't worry, they don't take a long time. I do this for myself almost every morning before work. It doesn't take a long time, and we're going to go through them pretty quickly as well. So I recommend, if you can, pull out the dream journal that we talked about in video 1, and best case, on the very first page of that journal, write down these steps as I go through them with you in this video so that you can refer to them every time you need to interpret a dream. If you don't have your dream journal yet, or it just doesn't work for you to take the notes right now, then save this video so you can come back and watch it anytime you wake up in the morning with a confusing dream. I'll be walking with you step by step, showing you the exact steps to take for any of your dreams. The first step in interpreting your dream is to write it down. It seems simple, but a lot of people skip this, and you'll see as we move through this video why it's so important. You won't be able to move on to step 2 unless you have done this. So write down the entire dream in your dream journal as you can remember it. And a caveat here, don't worry if there are confusing or illogical parts of the dream, or if you stumble upon parts that seem embarrassing or maybe even kind of inappropriate. Don't worry about it. That happens a lot in dreams. And as we move through these steps together, you'll come to find out that some of these symbols don't mean the same thing in the dream realm, and they're not nearly as embarrassing or awkward or illogical in the dream world as we may think they are in our waking world. The second step to interpreting your dreams is to jot down your initial waking impression of the dream. This can be really helpful, and we'll get some insight from this later in this process. Just jot down, do you feel happy, excited, scared, confused, conflicted? Does the dream seem like it's optimistic? Maybe you even have a sense of, oh, this feels like it really ties to something specific in my waking life. Whatever it is, just jot that down quickly. There are no right or wrong answers, and you don't want to spend a lot of time on this. It's really just what feels natural, what comes to mind when you first look at this dream. The third step is underlining the symbols. Now, I hope you didn't skip the first step in this process. If you did, you're going to need to go back and write out your dream to be able to continue. But looking at your dream journal where you just wrote down your dream, I want you to take a pen or a pencil, go through and underline every single symbol that you can find in the dream. Dreams communicate through symbols. This can look like objects, weather, whether it's day or night, people, places, sounds, scents, Everything is there intentionally. I've heard a lot of people tell me when they're discussing their dreams, they say, oh, that's probably meaningless, or oh, it was just a mistake, or no, dreams don't make mistakes. Dreams come from your soul or from guardian angels, from the divine realm. They can come from your subconscious. These are very powerful forces, and they gave you the dream for a specific purpose. And remember, they're benevolent. This purpose is to help you learn something that you don't already know. Or I guess more accurately, you don't consciously know. So you need to identify every single symbol that's in that dream. Now, don't try to make sense of the dream just yet. We're going to get there, but this is a very important preparation. Let's say, for example, I had a dream, maybe I was in a garden. If that was the case, I would underline where this garden was, what kind of plants or flowers were in front of me, if I was holding anything in my hand, what I was wearing, what the weather was, and where the location is of the garden. Is this at my home right now? Is it at a home from my childhood? Or am I just in a completely confusing random place? These are all very important aspects. The fourth step is to look up the symbols. Now, this is a bigger step, but again, we're not going to get lost in it. We're not going to let this take a ton of time. There are a number of websites and online dictionaries that actually list out the common interpretations or meanings of different symbols in dreams. This can be really, really helpful as you get started interpreting dreams, but you just want to jot down what the symbols that you underlined in your dream seem to mean according to a couple of these online dictionaries. I'll link a couple of them in the description below. And if you have any interpretation websites that you prefer, put them in the comments below. I'd love to see them. Now, it's important to remember that dreams are personal to you. They're very unique. So if you say you dream of a bicycle and you look it up online and the dream interpretation dictionary says, well, dreaming about a bicycle can often mean that you're looking for balance in your life. But what if you are a professional cyclist? In that case, this is going to have a completely different meaning to you because a bike has a very powerful meaning. It's a very core piece of your life. In that case, the bike could mean something more about finding your identity or looking for success or motivation or competition, but it's going to be something that's unique to you. So again, take the online interpretations with a grain of salt and always default to what your personal connection is with that symbol. Now, our fifth step is to zoom out. This is a very important step and one that a lot of people get tricked by. We want to zoom out and view this dream from the perspective of an eagle, not the perspective of a beetle. Remember, eagles soar high and they view things with a vast, expansive view. Beetles are trudging close to the ground. It's very myopic and they're walking right through the dirt. How does this look with dream interpretation? Dreams often tell very impactful stories. There can be a lot of emotion, a lot of charge. You may dream about people from your past, or you may dream about past experiences, and there can be a big emotion there. I caution you to try to back up, zoom out, and remember that dreams are symbols and lessons. They're benevolent. They're trying to help you. They're not being literal. Try your best to not get trapped in the emotion or the story of the dream. Instead, back up, remove yourself from the story, and try to view this as, say, a neutral third party, or from that eagle, vast, expansive consciousness. We want to view the forest, not the individual trees. Our sixth step is to ask, what's missing? This is a critical step, and this can change or even make or break your ability to understand the dream. This sixth step is really all about asking questions of the dream. A few of them that you want to look at are all based around this concept of what's missing. For example, when you look at the dream, and remember, we're viewing it from an eagle's perspective, not the beetle. When you're viewing the dream neutrally, what could have happened differently? Could someone in the dream have behaved differently and it would have had a different outcome? Was something missing in the dream? Was a key piece of equipment missing? Was your behavior different than how you would behave in your waking life? Was a person missing from your family in the dream? Or was a location missing that should have been there? These are all really critical components to start viewing the dream from different angles. It's almost like looking at the different facets of a diamond. We want to be able to look at different angles of the dream and see what is it with a process of elimination that they are trying to tell me with this dream. Because remember, it's something important and it's something benevolent. Now, there are a number of questions you can ask of this dream. Start asking, could you have behaved differently? If there was some sort of conflict in the dream, could anyone in the dream, yourself included, have diffused it before it became a conflict? Or could someone have behaved differently or spoken differently, and that led to a different outcome? If there was someone from your past in the dream, what do you know about them in real life? Are they happy? Are they positive? Are they a criminal? Are they trustworthy? These are all critical components as well. You want to start piecing together what is in the dream and what's missing from the dream. A really important question here to ask of yourself is, how were others impacted by your behavior in the dream? Now, this can lead to some of the biggest breakthroughs if you're willing to be honest with yourself. So I recommend doing this in private and just give yourself some quiet, honest reflection time to see, was anyone impacted by my behavior in the dream, and could I have done something better? Now we've made it to the final step, the 7th step in dream interpretation, and this is where we put it all together. Now you have the dream symbols interpreted. You also have asked a critical question, what's missing? And you've backed your consciousness up and expanded your view to view this as a neutral observer of the message. Now, using your intuition and your gut feeling, write down in your dream journal what comes to you as a possible understanding of this dream. Were the symbols pointing towards something specific? Perhaps they were all pointing towards your behavior from the past, or maybe they're pointing towards work or relationships or your physical health. And then start combining that with, well, what's missing? Who was behaving well and who wasn't? How could I have behaved better? Or should I have done something different? Am I proud of how I behaved, or do I admire how others in the dream behaved? Combining that with your symbols will give you the best understanding of the dream. As you work through dream interpretation, I ask you to remember one critical truth, and it's this. Dreams don't tell you things you already know. It's very easy for our brain to default when looking at dreams to the easiest possible solution. I can't tell you how many people have come to me with their dreams. When I ask them, well, what's your initial impression? They say, oh, they're just telling me, that thing that I've always known about myself. Nope. No, dreams don't do that. They don't waste the energy and the time to come all the way to visit you, bring you into this dream realm, put together this fantastic story just to confirm something you already know. Remember, dreams are trying to help you progress. They're helping you grow. They're teaching you lessons that the universe can tell you need to learn right now to take the next step in your life. So be open to new information. Be open to changing and growing, stretching outside of your comfort zone. That's where all the goodness and the juice of life is. So as you're viewing your dreams, just remember that. This is teaching me something new. It's not confirming something I already know. If you tried these tips with your own dream, I'd love to hear how it works for you. Leave a comment below. And if you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button to continue getting information helping you understand yourself and the world around you.